Hello everyone, this is Jeremiah Tekujiri. Welcome again to another tutorial on Python. So today, I noticed in the last video I did not show you how to download Python. I just went straight to using it. So before going to what we have today, I just decided to show you this. So this is the link you have to go to python.org/downloads to get Python downloaded on your system. And all you just need to do is click on this download and you have it in your system. So automatically it picks the one that works with your system and makes you download it here. But in case you find nothing here, you can just go to the one that it's the operating system you're working with. If you're working with a Mac OS, you can just go there and you go for the latest release, then go for the recommended version somewhere down here. So recommended version, then you install it. But just make sure it's in line with your operating system. This is for Mac OS, so you can also install this. Yeah, so that's basically how to download it. The prompt is easy to follow. So because I already have it installed, I won't be downloading it at the moment. So that's just what I want to show you about downloading it. It's quite easy and easy to follow through. So today, what you need to do, remember, you just have to go to your search bar and type out IDLE, the idle shell, and it comes up after downloading. So we'll be creating a new file. Let's create a new file for today. This is our second class, and let's save it. On the desktop, we have on the YouTube tutorial, and we call it tutorial. Okay, let's call it tutorial day 2. So that's just it. In the previous lecture, in the previous tutorial, all we talked about was data types, and we talked about the variable naming system. This time around today, we're basically going into the input function and operators in Python. So just as a recap, we talked about variables in the previous lecture where we just assign value to an already predefined name. All you have to do is give it a name, then we give it a value, and we say the value it's a data type. So in this case, it's a string, and if we have number, it's an integer. If we have it in decimal, it's a float, and we have it in this form, it's a boolean. Yes. So today we'll be talking about how we get values from user. If you notice, we make use of what we call print majorly to bring out something in the console during the last class, the last tutorial. Yes, I don't know why I say same class. It's also class. So printing, the print function takes in a value. We have the word print followed by a set of parentheses, then a value inside in this quote. So it can be in quotes, it can be just normal numbers, and it'll still run fine. If we save this and we run it, you can see it still gives us a number. But what does the print function do basically? What's its use? All it does is it takes in a value, an argument, and it returns the value out for us on the console. So that's just what it does for us. That's just what the print function does. We have another one that looks just like the print function, but it comes with input. So instead of the word print, we have input followed by a set of parentheses. What the input function does is it gets values from user rather than us giving it a value. In the case of what we do here, when we have a variable name, we're giving it a value. What if we were to get this name from the user? How do we get the name from the user? So that's where the input function come in. We can just put, instead of putting in the value, we just put in this input prompt at the beginning. And this helps us get value from the user. So imagine saving this and coming here. You can see this blinking cursor. So it just takes in value. At this point, it's not returning anything, but you can see we had the opportunity of typing something in the console here. Rather than in the first instance, imagine we had our name as yeah, Jerry, and I say print name. Sorry, and I say print name. If I should run this, you see it gives me the word Jerry, but it don't give me anything like the ability to type in front of this Jerry before the next arrow. But with the input function, I can just put in the input with this prompt. I can also put the quotes if I want, and I can do without it. When I run it, you can see before it actually goes to the next arrow, it gives me this prompt that yes, I can put in the value of my name as I want. But it's really not doing anything at the moment. So what we can do is, after getting the name, we can print the name. So you can see we're working with the input and the printing. So after putting in the name, it prints it out. So let's run this again. Yes, saved it. Put in my name, and it returns my name, Jeremiah. So you can see the one I type in is in black. The one the system returns is in blue. So that's just like a syntax there. Yeah, it really isn't doing anything at the moment. It's just putting out a name. What we can do with it is we can type something like hello Jerry, or welcome Jerry. How are you doing today, Jerry? Something like that. So how do we do that? We can come in front of this, and before I show you that, I'd just love to show you something we can do with Python strings. That's what we call concatenation. We call it concatenation. We call it now in this case, I can say my name is, and I have something like this, Jerry. So what am I doing here? Adding. I'm adding a string to another string. Now, adding in this case is what we call concatenation. In essence, this is called string concatenation. String concatenation. So before I go further, I don't know, I haven't told you about this yet. When you're making use of the hash symbol, you're making a comment in Python and it ignores everything after the hash. So this right here, I can run it with the program and I will not have any error. So at the moment I can just run it. And it gives me my name is Jerry out on the console. But let's see, what if I did not have this hash here and I save this and run? You can see I'm having an error. So it's saying it does not understand all this from the beginning of S. So that's the reason why I placed in the hash symbol there, which tells it the whole of this is a comment. Just ignore. Yeah. So concatenation in essence is just addition. So I can come here. In essence, what I'm trying to say is I can come here after asking the user for his or her name. Now I can do that by putting in quotes and saying, just trying to make it more meaningful. Say, what is your name? So in this case, you can say, what is your name? When the user enters in his or her name, it gets stored into the name variable. And instead of putting Jerry here, I can just put in name. So say my name is whatever the user puts in. So let's run this now. And say, what is your name? Wonderful. And I say David. It says my name is David. You can see how fine and interesting it seems at the moment. Now it's making more sense. So that's basically what the input function does. And you can take into what I'm doing here. I'm adding concatenation. So I'm having a string here plus the value I get from this name variable coming inside this. So that's just what it does, and it's very easy to follow through. So that's what's all about input, takes in value from the user. The next thing I want to be going into now is the function, the operators in Python. Operators in Python. So basically talking about, I think up to like 7 operators this time around. We have the, of course, normal operators. We have the plus, we have the minus, we have the divide, we have the multiplication. So those are the first 4 basic types everyone knows. Then the next one might be the one with the raised to power, as the double asterisk, and the one with the double division sign and the modulo sign. So this double division sign, we call it the floor division. Floor division. We'll explain it when we get there. Let's just work with what we have here. I want to be working with 2 variables where I just come and say first number. So now, since we're talking about minus plus division, so we know we're dealing with integers, numbers. It can be decimal, it can be positive, it can be integers. So first number, I can just put in a number here. It's too large. It's a second number. Take note of the variable naming system I use. I prefer the underscore, and just it gives it space and meaning when reading. So I'll just say second number equals, let's say 12. Now, in order for us to see results, we need to work with the print function. So let's look at the first operator we talked about here. So first number plus second number. Second number. So it's just taking the first number, which is 23 here, plus the second number, which is 12. So that's the first operator. Now I don't want this here. I have to comment it out, but let me just put this in front of it. Hopefully it works. No, it isn't. That's fine. I know why. So let's just let's do it this way. So if we save this and run it, we have our result 35. Now what is it doing here? It's taking 23, adding it to 12, and we're having 35, of course. So if we subtract the same thing, it gives us 11. That's 23 minus 12, that's 11. If we divide and we run it, we have the decimal point 1.91. And finally, if we multiply, we have 276. So yes, that was basically what it does. Those are normal arithmetics. Yes, we talked about additional 3. And those are the one with the double caret, like double asterisk, so rather. That's just like raised to power, just like 2 raised to power 3 and all. So it's taking 23 raised to power of 12 in this case. So 23 raised to power 12, that will give us a large number. So in this case, take note, I'm not making use of this sign. I'm not making use of this one that's, yes, this one, no, it's different from this. So take note, this is what I'm making use of, the double asterisk when you're trying to talk about raised to power in Python. So if we're running this, that's 23 raised to power 12, of course, it's going to give us a large number. That's 219 and the rest there. Yep. We've talked about the 2 asterisks. Then we have the 2 division sign, and I call it the floor division, or you can hear someone call it the integer division, but It's known as the floor division. So what it does basically is remove the decimal aspect. When we run it, we're having 1. Now take note, initially up here, when we use the division sign, we had 1.91666667. So you can see now we're using the double division sign here, and we're having just 1. So what it does is the floor division basically removes anything decimal out of it, and all it's just looking for is the number of times the second number is found in first number without a remainder. So you can find second number, which is 12, in 23, which is the first number, just once. So and it returns 1 out for us in the results here. 1. Yep. So that's what the double asterisk does. And the double floor, the division sign does there. Finally, the one I'll be talking about again is this sign. That's the modulo. We call it modulo. Modulo. M-O-D-U-L-O. Modulo. What it does is, instead of returning the first part as the double division sign does, it returns the remainder for us. So if I should run this, after it successfully divides, so the modulo, it divides 23 by 12, that's 1. It doesn't return the 1 as the double division sign does. Instead, it returns the remainder. So 12 goes in 23 one time and leaves the remainder of 11. So it gives us the remainder 11 out here. So that's what the modulo sign does, just as easy as that. Yes, we also talked about, instead of actually putting in these values here ourselves, why don't we also try getting it from the user? So in this case, I can say enter in a number. Okay, I can say yes, enter in a number. And I can come here and say enter in another number. Come in. Okay. So if I save this and I run it, I think let me just clear this and let me cancel this and run everything again. Yeah. So I'm running it again. So you say enter a number. Say 23. Another number. I don't know why I choose 23. Okay, let's choose 10. Now you can see we're having an issue. See, not all of the arguments converted during string formatting. Yeah. So yeah, I understand what it's doing here. In case of the modulo here, let me just change it to a plus and take note of the difference. So if I save this, sorry, I'm not actually saving it. So if I just come here, run it again. Yeah. So enter number 23, enter number 12. You can still give the result 2312. Now it doesn't give this error sign here. It gives 2312, which is not actually what we wanted. We wanted 23 plus 12 to give us at least that should be 35. Instead we're getting 2312. So what is it doing here? Remember when we talked about string concatenation and when we talk about data types, I told you this, we have a number in quotes, is different from a number like this. Let me put it the same as that digit. So having 234 in string in quotes is different from just a plain 234. So this is seen as a string, this is seen as an integer. Now take note, when we're taking an input from a user, every input we get from a user always returns a string. The questionnaire is wrapped in string, so our response is also going to be stored in string. So at the end, if the user has placed in 23 here, it's going to change everything and put in 23 just like this. So it's just like we are adding a string with another string. And if the user peradventure puts in another value here, that's like 12. And if you're saying first number plus second number, it's just like saying 23 plus 12. That's just what it means. So what it does, this plus here, we talk about concatenation. All it does is push everything together. If you take now we did my name is then plus. So it just pushed it together. So that's what it's going to do. It's just going to after the 3, it comes here and puts in the 1 to the side, then 2. That's why it's giving us that type of result. But if you want to change it, you can actually change it. Of course, we're getting response from user and you want to make sure this value are coming from the user and we are also able to add the numbers as we should. So what we can do is we can actually convert each of them to an integer. And how do we do that? We can actually do it right in front of it here by wrapping the int around it. Now, int, whatever value is entered here, a number, as far as the digit is a number, and I have this wrapped around it, it's going to convert every of such numbers. Like for instance, if this is what was placed in it, the whole of this input becomes this. But by wrapping this int around it with this open and close parentheses, it becomes 234 clean. So that's just what the int, we call it explicit conversion, sorry. Explicitly converting this to an integer. So we're converting this string to an integer just by placing the int around it. So I can do the same for this. And we have what we want. So you can put it here, the int. If we should do this, let me just take this away, save and run. By entering the number 12, 13, you can see it actually accurately adds it up for us now. 12 plus 13 gives us 25. Works very fine, very fine. So another way to do this is we can actually decide not to put it in front of it there. Yeah, I'm trying to just. Yeah, we can actually decide not to put it in front of it there. We can decide to put it right in front of our print statements for each of them. So right in front of each variable name, it still works that way. So we run this, we save this, we run it. The first number, let's cancel this. It's going down, down, down. So I run it again. So entering a number, we have this number, another number, and if we add, you can see it adds it just fine. 3 plus 2 and 5 plus 3, 58, and that's just it. So we've talked about the input function, we've talked about the operators, we've talked about how we convert. So the way we converted from string to integer, we can also convert from integers to string just by wrapping the str around it. And we'll be explaining more of that as we go on in this tutorial. I hope you learned something, and that's basically all about operators and the input function. That's how it works. I hope you loved it. Please do well to like the video, share, and please subscribe. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Thank you.